Of course, in anticipation of the CAF Champions League final tomorrow between our very own Amakhosi and, of course, the Egyptian giants Ahly. Now, the South African Broadcasting Corporation regrets to announce that the SABC has been denied the opportunity of broadcasting the Confederation of African Football's Champions League final tomorrow night between Chiefs and Ahly. Now, the SABC says it was surprised and disappointed to learn yesterday that CAF had actually sold the exclusive rights to broadcast the final to pay TV broadcaster Supersport. So for more, let's speak to SABC Sport General Manager Gary Rathbone. Gary, good morning. And, we were hoping, and so many people have been asking this morning about whether SABC will actually be broadcasting tomorrow's Champions League final, but unfortunately not. But Gary, perhaps an opportunity to explain to our listeners and our viewers exactly what happened.
Yes, I mean, it is really incredibly disappointing, and we feel sorely let down by all of this. I mean, the first thing is to remember is that we've been broadcasting the Kaizer Chiefs games in this tournament all the way up to the final. You know, Supersport or nobody else was prepared to step in to do that. We carried those games and put them on the SABC. And then to be dealt this blow by CAF to tell us that we actually can't access the rights was a shock. We've been preparing for it. We had the slot booked. Everything was in place to broadcast it. We had made CAF an offer. Initially, they said no. They said what they wanted. We met their expectations as far as that was concerned. And fully expected to actually have access to this match on the SABC. In the end, it turned out that we were told basically that actually all the rights, so total exclusivity has been granted in a deal to Supersport, and then therefore we are completely locked out of being able to show this match.
And as you say, Gary, given that SABC has covered the matches leading up to this final, and also the fact that one would imagine this is in the public interest, given this is a South African club in the final of the continent's biggest club competition, that it would be in the public interest for the SABC to carry this particular match.
Well, absolutely. I mean, again, this kind of sort of fixing the games, basically, as it were, to block us out, is just really, who it really hurts is ordinary millions of poor South Africans, all those Kaizer Chiefs fans out there that can't afford to actually access their team on pay TV, basically. You know, it just basically disenfranchises them in one fell swoop. It shows this complete disregard for people who should have access to what should be a major moment of national pride and a great opportunity, not just for Kaizer Chiefs fans, but for millions of South African football fans who will not now have access to this game. And it just shows a very, very heartless and thoughtless approach from CAF to actually allow the situation to happen like this. It's very clear, and we've stated this before, is that there's no reason why a pay TV broadcaster should be a gatekeeper or should be able to hold a free-to-air rights. And those rights should have been split. By all means, give Supersport exclusivity in the pay TV market where they are actually operational. But to allow them to have exclusivity on all rights and therefore stop the SABC from actually accessing this game is just, you know what I mean? I'm just absolutely flabbergasted that it's actually come to this.
And, Gary, I must say, I'm actually happy that we have an opportunity to ventilate this for the South African public to know exactly what is going on, because we can speak all we like. We can, as the SABC, do all we can to try and fly the national flag and show that national pride. And it's important that the public understands that the SABC, in fact, did try to get these rights. And as you said in the statement, the SABC actually did put the money on the table. So it was not even a money issue.
No, absolutely. We've done everything that we could because we knew the importance of this game. And even though the asking rate, was way beyond what one would expect for a single match. I mean, what the asking rate was, I can buy a whole league season of some competitions, never mind one game. But we knew how important this was for South Africans. So we were prepared to go all the way and meet their expectations on this occasion, because we felt it was, you know what I mean, the value of this was beyond just the money, as it were. It was a huge importance to South Africans. And yet, despite that, still be denied is just, it's just shocking.
It is shocking. It's heartbreaking, as you pointed out correctly, Gary, for the millions of South Africans who do not have access to a pay TV, who will be missing out on this. But I have to ask, is this the end of the line? Is there nothing else? Will the SABC still try to engage Supersport in order to try and broker some sort of deal? Is there anything that can be done?
We've been discussing directly with CAF and with Supersport. Have we reached out to both of them basically over the past few days to try and broker something? And the answer from both parties has been flatly not interested, basically. You know, we've spoken to Supersport. Supersport said absolutely not. We're not prepared to give you come to an agreement with you to make the game available to SABC. CAF was saying it's not our problem anymore. All the rights are with Supersport, so you know what I mean. Nothing we can do any further. So we basically exhausted every avenue that we can, and neither party is prepared to actually consider the ramifications of what has just transpired here. You know, this is not just Supersport blocking us from the FA Cup or the Premier League or some kind of, whatever the case may be. This is something of national significance, and this is something that should, by all means, be. And again, this speaks to the plea we've been making time and time again at the Kaizer to say rights should be unbundled. There should be no reason why a pay TV broadcaster should be holding on to free-to-air rights, and this should not be allowed. And as long as this continues, and as long as the Kaizer continues to allow this situation to be, to be in place, this is going to continue, and there's no recourse for us anymore because the regulator is not prepared to listen to us. And it's just, this is what happens if they don't listen to us. People get disenfranchised. Millions of South Africans are losing out because the regulator, Supersport, and all their partnerships do not give a damn about ordinary South Africans.
And I think perhaps this can be used once more, because it's not a new conversation, Gary, perhaps as a springboard to have these discussions, to make people understand the importance of what is happening around the rights issue, and also the national interest in terms of having this go out to more South Africans than just the few privileged ones who can afford to buy a subscription.
Well, exactly. I mean, we hope every time. We already had this issue with the Springbok rugby games and the Lions tour, where it's a similar thing, where they've actually put in place things to block us from actually rolling this content out to as many South Africans on our free-to-air platforms as possible. So, it's just almost like a déjà vu thing. And until there's actually proper engagement on this issue, this is going to continue. And we will continue to speak, and we will continue to engage with all parties to try and make this happen. We're not looking to change everything and think, across the board and undermine their whole business model, basically. But in things like this, like the rugby, like this game, these are things of national interest, and there should be partnerships evolved to cover this, basically.
Indeed, Gary. Gary, thanks so much. And I think so important to explain to our SABC viewers exactly what the story is behind the story, and why SABC, as we speak right now, will not be able to carry the Champions League Cup final between Ahly and Kaizer Chiefs tomorrow. But as you heard from Gary there, Supersport have got the exclusive rights, but the SABC still engaging CAF to the extent that they can, and of course also Supersport to the extent that they can, to still try and see if they can eke out something. But it doesn't seem good, Gary says, and Supersport basically given the go-ahead and given the rights by CAF, and this is where we stand. Issues in the national interest, and we need to have these conversations. Every day people ask us, whether it's cricket, whether it's rugby, football, it doesn't matter. People ask us, why is SABC not carrying these matches, these games? And now, once again, you hear from the general manager at SABC Sport, Gary Rathbone, the sort of hurdles, obstacles that SABC Sport have to actually jump through. So, unfortunately, that's where we have to leave it, on a bit of a bitter note. But you know what? Amakhosi, we're still behind you and wish you well for tomorrow's CAF Champions League final against Al Ahly. A proud moment for South Africa all round. We have a president at CAF who's a South African president, as Velile Mnyandu pointed out. We have a South African coach in Peter Mosimane at the helm of Al Ahly, and of course our very own Amakhosi. Please take care, please be safe. We'll see you again on Monday. Tomorrow, though, a weekend morning live with Simpiwe Ngongwane. Please take care.